What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Tonight I am gonna be showing you how to change a battery in your vehicle, your car, your truck, whatever. So I've got the truck pulled into the shop, the batteries, I've just been noticing the batteries have been sort of a little questionable lately. Sort of harkens back to when I was learning to drive. My dad sort of taught me to listen to your vehicle and to sort of pay attention to the sounds it makes and what's normal and what's not normal. And I've just been noticing that when I crank it, it's not as crisp of a start, and the batteries are probably 3 years old in the truck, so I think it's time to replace them. So over here on the tractor, I've got, where am I? There we go. I've got 2 new batteries, and I'm just gonna tear these ones out and put those ones in. Shouldn't take very long. So I'll just run through the process and show you how I do it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just rip off. This truck has 2 batteries, so I just gotta rip this bracket out of here so it's out of the way so that I can get this battery out. So it's a good idea to thread your hardware back in so you don't lose it. Okay, so that piece is out of the way. And on this side, there's just a little rod that I think it's actually to support this quarter panel here. Okay, so this is kind of the critical step when you're changing a battery, at least I think it is. There's a positive terminal and a negative terminal, and the whole chassis of the vehicle is connected to the negative terminal. That's how the DC system works. So what you want to do is you want to avoid working on the positive terminal until you have the negative terminal disconnected. So what that means is if I were to put my ratchet on the positive terminal and then inadvertently touch a piece of the truck that was metal and conductive, I would create a circuit through my tool and arc out my tool, and it would make a big spark. I did that once changing batteries on an airplane, and I put a big arc in my ratchet and a big mark in the battery tray. So I've never forgotten that. So I just go to the negative terminal first. These connectors on this truck are really sweet. They're like little wedge connectors. So that one's disconnected. Come over to this one. Positive terminal. It's disconnected. And then I'll go to the other side. So again, negative first. And then positive. Just tuck the cables out of the way. And then there's 2 hold down clamps that hold the battery from shifting around. This one seems kind of loose actually. So we'll just disconnect those and then swap the batteries. And usually these clamps, you don't have to take the bolt all the way out. They kind of loosen up, and then you can kind of squeak the battery past the clamp. So you don't have to take the bolt all the way out and then try and fish it out of there. So will it come out now? Yeah. There we go. So this battery can get dragged out of there. Okay, that battery comes out. And now, new battery goes in. Okay, it's good and solid. That's good and solid. Okay. So now we do the opposite, putting it back together. So we do positive terminal first on both batteries, and then we'll hook the negatives up. So just pull these little tabs off. And actually, I'm going to clean these terminals. So a little bit of red Scotch-Brite, just a little bit of it will go a long way. Yes, that's much nicer. You want to make sure that when you put your terminals on, they're really solidly seated down on the post. And then you want to make sure they're quite tight, not like crazy tight, because you don't want to strip them out, but you want to make sure that they don't move around at all. Because the tighter that connection is, the less chance there is for corrosion to start building at these terminals, and that's what generally happens, is corrosion will start to build on these terminals. Okay, good and tight. Now we can go ahead and hook up our negatives. I know there's a bad pun in there somewhere. No need to be negative about a battery change. Sorry. I can hear the internet groaning. It's pretty clean. So now just be prepared when you go put this on, there will be a little spark generally. So don't be surprised. And that's just all the little circuitry in the truck or in the car that runs in the background being switched back on basically. So now, see, this is the situation where if this was the positive terminal and I was hooking it up last, like I'm not supposed to, I'm so close to the truck that I could arc out. But I can touch the truck and this negative terminal at the same time and it doesn't hurt anything. Yep, that's getting tight. Little spark. Oh, that one didn't do it. Probably because I've already hooked the other battery up. Not super happy with how this one's sitting. I'd like it to be down a little farther. You don't want to smack on the posts with a hammer because they're just lead and they're very soft. But you can use a hammer handle just because it's wood and it won't transfer such an impact. And so that got it a little tighter. Now I'll tighten this one up. That's good and tight, and we're basically done. All I got to do is put the support pieces back on and go into the truck and reset the clock and do that stuff, and we're back in business. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on how to change the batteries, and we'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff.